Hey everybody, I'm John Rourke, Editor-in-Chief of Phoenix Home and Garden Magazine. We're here at the Arizona Fine Art Expo, which is running through March 26th. We've got 120 working artist studios at this expo. It's in its 19th year. So if you're looking to collect art, if you're already a collector, or if you just want to meet artists and see how they do what they do, this is the place to come. Right now we're here with Devin Rowe, who is a bronze sculptor. Hey Devin.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm wonderful.
How many years have you been in the expo?
This is my second year in the Expo.
All right. And sorry to interrupt, but the expo is a juried show, and so you are invited to participate.
To participate, and I'm from actually Oregon.
Okay.
And,
all right. And so I'm fascinated by so much of what you do, because I don't have a working knowledge of bronze and how that works.
Okay.
So can you walk us through that the process of how you create?
Yes, I create everything out of clay first.
Okay.
So I'll take the clay and use supports to hold it up.
Okay.
And it's kind of amazing. I just kind of have a lucky talent. I think that some people can pick up a guitar and really sing.
Sure.
And I can just close my eyes and I can make something. But I can't make a box, but I can sculpt and I can make.
That's a great talent.
Yeah, the lucky talent.
So are you working at a 1:1 ratio, or?
It's all do it out of clay, right?
Okay.
And then once the clay is finished the way that I like it,
right,
we go into the lost wax.
Okay.
And this has been around for since Egyptian time. It's just a little more advanced now. And so we'll cut the pieces off of this. Let's say it was the pheasant, where it's in clay right now.
Right.
We'll cut the wings off, the heads, and then we'll make a mold out of a rubber of each one of these pieces that are cut off. Okay.
Right.
So it's kind of like a caulking.
Yes.
Like a rubber. And then the back of that is a ceramic base or fiberglass that keeps the rigidity, right? Once the rubber is hard and the plaster on the back, we cut it and pull it apart. And then inside this, there's that clay, right? And that's just basically thrown away. So now if you look inside this rubber, there's a head of a pheasant. Maybe grab the other mold and there's a wing. Okay? So hot wax is poured into all these molds, okay? And it's sloshed around and poured out till it makes a coat inside this, about a 1/4 inch thick inside this mold. Then the rubber's pulled away. Now we'll have a wax head of a pheasant, wax wings, the weeds, another head. So all these pieces are on clay now, in wax.
Okay, so it looks like this, but it's made of wax.
Made of wax. There's no color or anything, it's just wax. So this wax is taken and it's basically dunked into a ceramic slurry, and it's coated, right? And then this, once it hardens, it goes into a kiln and fired. The wax drains out, and what happens is ceramic gets very hard, almost as hard as a coffee cup. And then molten bronze is poured into that, and then that coffee cup's broken and all that, it's sandblasted, and the pieces are welded back in by hand.
Okay.
Okay, welded and etched back in by hand with metal tools.
So do you do one piece per mold? Would you, if you wanted to do two, are they one of a kind?
That mold, that lost wax mold, allows me to create multiples.
Okay.
So my additions are very low.
Okay.
So I do, like this one's 55, so there'll be only 55 in the world. That's it.
Okay.
So most of my pieces are around 35.
Okay, so when the bronze comes out of that mold,
everything's welded back together,
right,
and sandblasted, and the colors are different acids and different consistencies
that
of heat.
Was my next question.
Makes the colors.
Okay. All right, and so you've got this kind of rough, kind of a crude bronze piece that you finesse. Then you're sandblasting. You're going in and etching, like you said.
With metal tools.
And then at what point are those acids used to make the colors?
Once all the weld marks are basically gone from welding the pieces back together.
Okay.
And everything's etched back in hand. I'll look and make sure everything looks perfect. Then we'll go ahead and we'll basically rub ferric nitrate on it and makes the browns and colors, and then we go from there.
Okay, so a piece about this size, which is fairly large, I think it's one of your largest ones that you have here. What's the hours invested in?
I would say...
Is that hard to say?
Probably each piece, let's say you wanted to order one, it's going to take approximately 6 months to get your piece.
Okay.
And they're all going to be just maybe a little bit different, but very similar. You wouldn't notice the difference, just like an animal is, They're all just a little bit different.
Right.
But nothing you would notice.
Okay, and you obviously have an affinity for wildlife.
I do.
So has that always been the case?
for me, I was always interested in. I was always in love with wildlife. I love to hunt and fish and take photograph and.
Okay, and do you draw as well? Did it start with drawing? How did this happen?
Well, how did this happen? I was in an art class in high school.
Okay.
And I took a photo of my dog when I was 16 years old, and I wanted a photo of him on the wall. So this photo turned out pretty good when I was 15, and I sent it to Ducks and Lemon magazine. Out of 300,000 photos, they published this, right?
Wow, okay.
So I'm in a high school art class. And I started getting calls all over the U.S. and Canada and Mexico to sell these prints for about $90 or whatever. And so it was a 3 months, edition. And so once that 3 months gone, I didn't get many more calls.
Right.
So I'm in an art class in high school, and goes, you ought to do a sculpture of that dog you took a photo of. And I said, okay, I can try that, and I could just do it. And if it wasn't for him. Finding my talent. I wouldn't have known.
And what fascinates me about sculpture is like if it's a drawing, it's one dimensional. You've nailed it. But a sculpture is like 360 degrees. It has to be perfect from every single angle.
I try to get it perfect from every angle.
I think you've nailed it. But is that something that took a while to figure out, or was that again part of it that was just in you and you
part of it?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how to explain it.
So do you work from photos? How do you?
Yeah, I'll work from photos. I count feathers, or exactly the dimensions of certain things, or anatomy. I'll look at a few photos, but most of it's just in my head. I don't know how to explain it.
Just amazing. Now, I understand you had a career highlight, and we can see it over here. You went to the White House. Tell us about that.
I was a fishing guide in Alaska for 35 years, and I took a lot of famous, influential people, a lot of government employees and things, politicians, and one of them happened to be Denny Hastert, Speaker of the House of the United States of America, and his son. Well, one day he says, Devin, we need to get some of your pieces in Washington. And I said, well, that would be awesome, but once I got home, you kind of forget about things,
whatever.
And I get a call about 4 in the morning. Say, may I speak with Devin Rowe? And this is Devin. I was half asleep. He said, this is the Speaker of the United States of America, Denny Hastert.
Yeah, right.
And I go, oh, hi, how you doing? He goes, well, I showed President Bush your catalog, and he'd really like to have one of your pieces. And I go, which one would he be interested in? He goes, I'm not quite sure. I'll call back. And about the same time, a week later, he called and he said he would like the eagle. And I said, okay, how would you want me to send it? He goes, no, he would like you to present it to him personally in the Oval Office.
As one does, for sure.
So we spent my wife and I and my oldest daughter, Alyssa, spent about an hour in the Oval Office with him.
Seriously?
And,
and do you have that piece here, or
that piece is sold out?
Okay.
Yep, sold out of the edition, and it sold out at a very substantial amount.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, it was quite an
wow.
honor.
So do you have a favorite subject matter? You have a lot of birds here. You've got some big game. Or is it all
I think any type of wildlife.
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas and not enough time to make them.
Yeah, exactly.
To do it.
And do you do private commissions?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a few commissions.
All right. And how does that work? Do people come to you and say, we love elk.
This. We'd like this elk to look this big.
Okay.
Or, and I would say, let's go ahead and put an addition on it. I would like to be able to make multiples. Keep them low. One of a kinds, think they're going to be more expensive.
Of course.
Because it's just, there's only one out there.
Of course, right. Okay. All right. And then now
and it's quite an investment. I mean, bronze, I start the prices out reasonable, and as the edition runs out, the prices do increase. And then once the edition runs out, they will just
and then that's
really
it,
explode.
Wow, interesting. Okay. And then I have also been told you have another uncanny gift, which is making animals.
Oh, good Lord. Maybe a couple. Cricket.
Amazing. Okay.
About it.
All right. That's better than any cricket I could attempt. Fantastic. Well, we're gonna
take a look around.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to be working on a piece here
I
during
will.
the expo?
Yeah, I have all my pieces are in my house right now. I'll bring them out a little bit later.
And what will people be able to see the entire process, or are you going to be sculpting?
It's just going to be sculpting in clay.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
And I can explain to them though kind of how it works if people are interested in knowing that. I could be love to tell you how this works.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for your time. Thanks for
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, sharing your work, and good luck here at the expo.